So hello guys, how are you? This is again Tony Mac of All About the Law. Uh, okay, so this is actually the part where my discussion on MCIT was cut and NCIT. So this is actually the continuation on part two. Ba? So we have already finished the part one or the introduction on the taxation on corporation. We have learned the type of corporations like domestic corporation, resident foreign corporations, and those not engaged in trade or business or those engaged in trade or business. Now here, um, in this portion, we will study, as I mentioned in my last video, that we will only focus on the three types of taxes on corporations, such as the NCIT or the normal corporate income tax, which before the rate is 30%, but now based on the new law, it's 20 to 30, 25% of the net income. We have also, as discussed in the previous video, where I will post it, no, yung link, the MCIT or the minimum corporate income tax, that's 2% of the gross income. But effective July 1 to 2020 to June 30, 2023, the rate will be 1% of the gross income. Then the last video, I will discuss on the improperly accumulated earnings tax, which is 10% based on improperly accumulated earnings. And then the other types of taxes on corporations are the following: capital gains tax, branch profit remittance tax, gross income tax, and final tax on gross income. Now, we will go now to the normal corporate income tax. Okay, the normal corporate income tax, usually the corporations liable for this kind of tax are the domestic corporations and the resident foreign corporations. Okay, so the tax rate effective January 1, 2009 is 30%, okay, of the net taxable income. Now I have posted here at the right side of this video the net income tax formula, how the net taxable income is computed in order for you to arrive at the net income tax due. Okay, I will discuss that further later. But now, based on the CREATE law, which becomes effective on July 1, 2020, the tax rate for domestic corporation and the resident foreign corporation is now at 25% of the net taxable income. Now, or 20% if the net taxable income of the domestic corporation or the resident foreign corporation does not exceed 5 million and its total assets excluding the land, or ihiwalay mo yung asset niya, yung land where the office, plant, or machinery is situated does not exceed 100 million pesos. Okay, so how can we arrive at the net income or net taxable income? Okay, first, we'll get the gross sales of the corporation and we'll have to deduct its sales returns. And also the sales allowances and the sales discounts. So gross sales less the sales returns, sales allowances, and sales discounts in order for us to arrive at the net sales. Now, we will also, once we have arrived at the net sales, we will also deduct the cost of goods sold in order for us to arrive at the gross income of the corporation from sales. Okay, and we can also add in other incidental income of the corporation or other income of the corporation in order for us to arrive at the normal tax gross income. So just like the individual taxpayer, no, we also usually determine the gross income. Okay, but we do not end there because our laws provide for allowable deductions, which we have discussed or we will discuss in the next discussion or video. And in order for us to arrive at the net taxable income. Yun yung net taxable income. Yun yung magiging basis. Ito yung tax base natin where we will multiply the applicable tax rate. Na before, from 2009 to 2020, the rate is 30%. But now, if beginning July 1, 2020, the rate is 25% as a rule. But if the net taxable income of the corporation does not exceed 5 million and its total asset does not exceed 100 million, then the rate is 20%. Okay? And then, once we multiply it to that, we will arrive at the net income tax due. Yun yung babayaran natin sa, ipa-file natin sa BIR. Okay? So, we have also, this portion actually was cut sa MCIT discussion natin. So, I just want to discuss to you, ano nga ba yung MCIT, sir? So, MCIT or the minimum corporate income tax, it is an estimate of the income tax that is due from a firm or a corporation beginning the fourth taxable year immediately following the year in which such corporation commenced its business operations. Sige, let me finish first the sentence. It is equal to 2% of the gross income of a corporation at the close of each taxable year. So yung MCIT class, ito yung kinds of tax na magiging liable ang isang corporation beginning the fourth taxable year immediately following the year in which the corporation commences business operation. So, yung MCIT kasi is another way kung saan if ang corporation ay laging nag-zero, laging mas mataas yung kanyang losses over its sales, diba? Its deductions over its sales. Usually, napapansin na ng government yun. So, hinahayaan niya lang muna for the first 3 years. But on the fourth year, regardless kahit mag-zero yung net income tax due mo, o yung gross, yung net income tax payable mo, papatawan ka ng 2% ng tax rate na MCIT. Okay? So, 2% of the gross income of a corporation at the close of each taxable year. So, sabi rito, being a minimum corporate tax, a corporation should pay 2% MCIT or the NCIT, yung discussion natin earlier, whichever is higher. So, yun yung tinitingnan ng government natin. So, ano ba ang magiging higher dito? Ang normal corporate income tax ba or MCIT? So, ina-apply lang ang MCIT kapag ang tax due mo, or your net income taxable is, net taxable income mo is lower than the, tawag nito, lower than your usual na dapat binabayaran. Okay? Or yung income mo is laging nag-zero or negative. Di ba? So, kaya walang nakukulit ang government sa'yo. Now, sabi ng government, sige, on the first 3 years, pagbibigyan ka namin, baka nga tatry ka palang mag-survive. Okay? So, but on your fourth year, papatawan ka na namin ng 2%. Okay? So, so we have another slide now. So, kailan ba nagko-commence ang MCIT? Sabi rito, MCIT or the minimum corporate income tax is imposed beginning the fourth taxable year immediately following the year in which such corporation commenced its business operation, which is the year when the corporation registers with the BIR and not when the corporation started commercial operation. So for example, diba si ABC Corporation, nag-commence kayo ng isang corporation in the year 2010, diba? Yung count ng fourth taxable year will commence from the time that ABC Corporation registers with the BIR, na-issuehan siya ng Certificate of Registration, and not when the operation of that corporation commence. So for example, no, so 2010, nag-ayos na sila ng mga papers nila, ng Certificate of Registration from the BIR, nakakuha na sila. Pero nag-operate lang sila 2011. Now, kailan mag-i-start yun? 2010 or 2011? Of course, it's 2010. Kung kailan yung corporation nag-registers with the BIR. Okay? Sabi rito, this 4-year grace period allows a new business to stabilize first. Yun yung sinasabi ko kanina. No? And makes it and make its venture viable before it is subjected to the MCIT. So now, what we have a create law. Ano ba yung create law na kanina mo pa sinasabi? Yung create law or yung RA 11534 or otherwise known as the Corporate Recovery and Tax Incentive for Enterprises. So ito yung pinakabagong batas, no? It was created by the Philippine Congress in response to this COVID-19 pandemic as a relief or fiscal relief to the domestic and foreign corporations doing business in the Philippines because nakita nila, ang laki, di ba? You know naman ang laki ng effect ng COVID, ng pandemic dito sa atin, sa bansa. Now, in order not to burden the corporations, di ba, sa pagbabayad ng mga taxes, binabaan nila. Kanina sa NCIT from 30%, ngayon it's 20 to 25%. Now, dito naman sa MCIT, effective July 2020 until June 30, 2023, the MCIT rate or the minimum corporate income tax rate shall be 1% of the gross period of gross income as of the end of the taxable year. Tandaan nyo yan, ha? So, from July 1, 2020, kung ang fourth year mo is July 1 within this taxable year, okay, ang i-apply na MCIT sa iyo is not, instead of 2%, it should be 1%. Pero ito, hindi to forever, ha? Hanggang June 30, 2023 lang to. So, tatandaan nyo yan. Now, for my example, na-discuss ko to, no, sa previous video ko. Diba? So, just watch it. I'll post the link later. Okay? So, I think that's all for today. Please review my previous discussion on the minimum corporate income tax. Then, later on, I will post my discussion on improperly accumulated earnings tax. Okay? Thank you, class.